Hey everyone, this is Flipno3D Gamer. As you can no doubt tell from the wind blowing, I'm basically outside. I kind of have a busy schedule, and this is the best I can possibly do. I wanted to give a brief moment about talking about my history with the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. It's one of my favorite video game franchises of all time because you have all these different video game franchises and IPs joining together to duke it out. The first time I laid my eyes on Smash was the N64. When I was a toddler. I remember seeing my uncle and his friend playing it over at my uncle's house. And I definitely remember Sector Z, Link, and Mario just duking it out, and I definitely I definitely remember that. I wouldn't get to play the N64 version until after I played Melee, and that was when I was in my teen years. I remember going to a friend's house, and we started playing it, and I was so hooked up to it. It wasn't as great as Melee was, or any other, or obviously because it's the first of the franchise, but it still had a great amount of, for N64, it was really good. I really liked how many things handled, especially the sounds. They were really good. But yeah, it was I definitely had a lot of memories, playing it in my teen years. So yeah. Now the actual first Smash Brothers game I actually got to play was Melee. I remember going to a Toys R Us, and they had a demo kiosk where they had Melee right there, and again, this was actually my very first true exposure, because now I was able to comprehend what this game was. And because I was a very early Nintendo fan, seeing all these characters, I had no idea who they were, but I was really intrigued because I wanted to learn more about this video game franchise, since Nintendo was the first. I had my Game Boy, I had my Link's Awakening, but I didn't know anything about these characters. So learning about, Link's name's not Zelda, it's Link, and Zelda is the princess, and Samus being a girl. But yeah, I wouldn't get to play. I mean, I played a lot of it in the demo kiosk. Then I used to go over to a friend's house where we used to just make nights to go and play Melee. Those were and believe it or not, Melee was the game that actually taught me that button mashing isn't gonna get me everywhere. Since usually I would just button mash my way to victory, but then it told me I had to jump, I had to shield, I had to dodge. I had a real and then when my uncle basically lived over with us, he brought his GameCube with Melee in it, and me and my sisters and my uncle were just playing Melee almost every week, and it definitely brought me so many memories. I now have the game along with my uncle's GameCube, but every time I plug this in, I'm just bring back so many memories with this game. But yeah, when it came down towards the first Smash game I was able to personally own, that would be Brawl. Now Brawl, I definitely remember the hype for this game. I remember seeing it at a European magazine. Yeah, Walmart was selling European magazines. I have no idea why, and there it was, Smash Bros. Brawl. I thought, when I read it up, I thought it was going to come out the December or winter time, like they were saying. But because this was my early days when I didn't use the internet that much, I found out that they delayed the game to the following year, March, and I definitely remember throwing a tantrum that day. I always remember going to the Smash Dojo website, where they announced all these characters, and I was able to see gameplay footage. That was actually the very first time I actually used the internet for that specific reason, to look up info. And then when the game came out, I had to wait like several weeks or a month, I think, before I was able to get it, until we were able to get the money. But when we finally got it, I was just, me and my best friend, Albert, we basically played Smash Brothers Brawl, and man, I just got so hooked. And every time when my folks basically But of course, I wasn't able to play that much of it because this was during the days when the Wii was basically stuck onto the living room, and we had to have permission in order to play it. But every time I do so, I would play through the Subspace Emissary. I remember having so much fun with that mode, and being able to make my own stages and whatnot. And I also, like, one of my favorite memories was like me getting a strategy guide for free, because we always go to Best Buy, and on that day when when we actually got Iron Man, yeah, that was 2008. That was the first time I got hooked. This was the first time the Marvel Cinematic Universe was starting up. I keep finding this Super Smash Bros. Brawl strategy guide, and I keep telling my parents that I want it, but they're like, no, it's a waste of money. So when I finally decided to ask a cashier how much it was, he looked at it and he's like, where's the price tag? This doesn't seem to be anything. And he's like, you know what? Here, you take it. And I was like, sweet. So during that day, I was able to watch Iron Man and read my strategy guide, and I was just so happy. But yeah, I also remember going to play at other people's houses, and every time it's just like Brawl definitely had a lot more experience when I was able to play it in other places besides my living room, and I was able to have some fun with friends. But yeah, that was the closest thing I had to like having a party with Smash. I mean, not having a party. Whenever there's a party, we would be able to play Brawl. But yeah. After that, I also remember having, one of my friends, who was actually very, very, very good with Brawl. Pretty much, straight up beat me in so many ways. So with that, I was able to have the mentality of like, I gotta improve. I can't just be, using the same strategy. I gotta, change it up a bit. And then that leads up to the next game. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. Now, I remember, like, when the 3DS came out, I was hoping for, like, an announcement for a true Super Smash Bros. On a portable console, since that's always been my one true dream, because I'm not much of a console gamer, I'm a portable gamer. So, when Satoru Iwata announced that they would be making a Smash Bros. For both the Wii U and the 3DS, I was straight up excited. I even made, started to make, concepts of who would make it in and what the title would be. Then in 2013, the trailer first showed up, and it showed every single character. Not every single character. It started to show the starting roster, and then it showed Mega Man and Wii Fit Trainer and Villager. I was super intrigued because this was the first time I'm gonna be able to keep up to date with Smash Brothers. So every day, they would be posting new information in Miiverse, and I would always go to Miiverse just to look up the info. And then there would be a newcomer once in a while, a new stage and whatnot. And and this time I actually even had, I had friends that were very looking forward to it. And every day we would just discuss about who would make it in, who's not going to make it in, what's added and whatnot. And we'd talk about it for hours, even for the minute details. So yeah, it was, I pretty much definitely remember more of the hype from this one than the other one. I remember going to a Best Buy event where I was able to pre-order the game, and I was able to get a collective coin. And I was able to play the game early by standing in line, and I was able to play the 3DS and Wii U version. And afterwards, then one day I remember when they were distributing the special demo for Smash Bros. For 3DS. I remember one of my best friends, Agent Dave 7. He everybody was asking for codes, and I was like, oh man, I would totally like to get that code. And then he's like, you want one? I have a spare one. And I'm like, you truly would give it to me? He's like, sure. He gave me the code, and I was able to play Smash Bros. 3DS demo on just on time when I was about to go to New York to visit my uncle. So I was able to get through 2 hours of nonstop car rides with just Smash Bros. And then when the game came out, I basically just got the game and I wouldn't stop playing. And I wouldn't stop playing until, like, I think 2016, I believe. The end of 2016 was when I would stop playing Smash Brothers for 3DS. Because every time there would be, like, new DLC, new content, and I would be able to play with my friends. I remember going to my high school, and I was able to play I was able to bring it with me, and I was able to play with my friends. We would have so much of a good time. But then came the Wii U version. Now, obviously, I didn't have a Wii U at the time, so I begged my parents to, get me a Wii U, and I would be able to pay it off because I was, soon I was able to get a job. They got me the Wii U along with, Smash Bros. For Wii U, and I got to play it, and I had a good amount of time. I remember, trying out the 8-player Smash, and boy, that was a mess. But, Smash Bros. 3DS and Wii U's, or Smash 4, definitely brought me a lot of things that basically, allowed me to understand how Smash Bros. Work. Fighting more competitively and stuff like that. But it also brought me good memories with people around me who are also hyped for this franchise, and that's one thing I'll always remember for Smash Bros. For 3DS. It may not be it probably won't be like the most memorable Smash game, but it definitely will be for me, for how much it made me new friends and whatnot. And as you can tell, there's the Wii U version. I wouldn't be able to play much of the Wii U version because, again, this was on the living room, and again, this was during my time when I was transitioning towards college, so I was basically focused more on college than playing Smash Brothers. So I wasn't able to enjoy it that much, but it did its job well, and I definitely don't regret purchasing this. Then now here we are with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is coming out tomorrow. I'm not as hyped as I used to be because it was basically teased this year, then showcased this year, and then afterwards it's being released this year. So, it wasn't as hype, but I definitely had much more better comprehension, especially when they're bringing back every character in almost every stages, and bringing back an adventure mode. May not be subspace, but it's the closest thing we'll get. And it's amazing how far we've come from 20 years ago, where we were just playing with just over 9 characters and picking over just 7 stages, and it's amazing how far we've come from playing from an N64 to now taking it anywhere I want in HD, the Switch. So yeah, I'm definitely excited, and I'm definitely going to be doing videos on Smash Brothers for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, especially since, now Nintendo's going to be lifting up it's going to be allowing us to, monetize Nintendo videos. So that Nintendo videos based on how we're able to, that I'll be able to do review or, do a let's play on it. And you bet you I'll be posting more replays on that. And because now I'm going to be graduating college, and now this game is going to be it's now basically going to be my graduation present. But yeah, so that was my brief history with the Super Smash Brothers history. I hope you guys enjoy it. Sorry, it's very low budgeted. This is all I can do. And I can't wait for everybody to enjoy this game. And see you guys in the next video.